Hope all is well with you and you're keeping safe. There is a sign of improvement with our current global scenario. I'm sure things will be better and brighter. Holding this faith, I'm happy to present the episode 2 of Saturday Talk series with experts titled Opportunities After 12th Standard with our expert Dr. Jagannathan Ramaswamy, former Vice Chancellor of Middle East University, UAE. This is presented by NGL, Next Gen Political Leaders, an NGO to promote and to nurture the young political minds of our country, and PreSense, a national monthly e-magazine since 2006, is our knowledge partner. I am your host, Sukruti Narayanan, and I'm sure you will find this show fun, interesting, and informative. Before we enter into our questions and our conversation with our expert, I would like to share a few lines about our esteemed expert. Dr. Jagannathan has held various high positions as a senior academician, as a reader and head at Postgraduate Department of Physics, managing editor of publications at DG Vaishnav College, deputy registrar for education and research. Currently, he is provost St. Teresa University, St. Vincent's and the Grenadines, West Indies. He is chairman, National Agricultural Farms and Research Foundation in Chennai. It is such an honor to have you in my show, sir. Welcome.
Thank you for a very good introduction. I thank the opportunity given by the PreSense and also the NGPL for their extensive social commitment in drawing a discussion on the topic of social relevance today.
Thank you, sir. So our topic is opportunities after Standard 12. But before that, I would like to start by asking, how many students normally pass out of plus 2 in India every year, Professor?
India is one of the most populous countries in the world. Out of the 750 crore population in the world, we have about 130 crores in India. So naturally, the numbers will be very high. So it may be surprising for you that in India, every year, and also this year too, we have about 1.14 crore of students are passing out of the plus 2. That's
Wow.
tremendous.
Yes, it is a huge number. So is India equipped to provide higher education to 10 million students every year, Professor?
Yes. Immediately after the independence, one of the areas which the Indian government concentrated was to strengthen the base of education in India. As a result, now we have every year 2.5 crores of seats available across India, which is delivered through the 52,000 affiliated colleges attached to about 850 universities. So they offer different courses of various durations of 1 to 5 years duration. About some 200 varieties of courses are available to fit in the taste and the ambitions and aspirations of the students and parents of this country.
Wow. Those are huge numbers. So for the students and parents, it looks like it's a great tussle to get admission in the desired course and in a desired institution. So how do you think the students or parents can handle this?
Yes, this is a very relevant question. And this, we have to spend a small time on this question. If we compare our Indian students with the students from the UK or USA or Australia or Singapore, in those countries, the students have a fair idea of the real world by the time they come out of their plus 2 or they graduate of the secondary school. But as far as our Indian students are concerned, they are studying the notes given by the teachers, and they almost by heart and reproduce. And they are concentrating only upon their studies without bothering about even the extracurricular activities. As a result, they are spoon-fed by their teachers. So as a result, they don't have any idea about the real world at all. So if you ask them to decide about what you want to do in your higher education, it will be a very tough decision. Maybe they may do a wrong decision also. So that's the difference between the students from the West and in India. So what we must do and our parents should do is that if your son or daughter has passed out of the 12th standard, please do some homework. Please discuss it with your teachers, elders in the family, then the close relatives who are well educated and well employed, and take into account your family's own constraints. Then superimpose on this your taste and ambitions. Then take a right decision. Then your career will be really very good.
Absolutely. That's true. So, when you say like there are so many courses available, so I think I would move on to the topic on what are the different courses that are available for the students, Professor?
As far as the students are concerned, now we have about, it looks like as if infinite courses are thrown over the country by different institutions. It's a myriad of courses available and it confuses the students and parents as well. But it's not really so. Really speaking, there are only 9 categories of courses are available. Any of the 200 varieties, they fall into one of these 9 categories only. One, say the engineering, then the medicine or the dental, which require the NEET examination. Then we have the allied health sciences. See, in allied health sciences, we have enormous variety of courses available like the renal dialysis technician, cardiac care technician, physician assistant, imaging technician, nursing, pharmacy, things like that. We have a lot of about 15 to 20 well demanded and well paid courses available under this allied health sciences. Then we have humanities. The moment we say humanities, the BA, BSc, people will immediately think that, oh, BA history, BA philosophy, BA economics, like that. Now we have trending courses are available. They are like the advertising, the foreign languages, tourism, psychology, forensic sciences, air travel. For these courses, we require dynamic and enterprising youngsters. The job market globally is very bright for all these things. Then we have the management courses with some 10 to 15 specializations. And we have then the regular BSc degree. The moment we say it's a regular BSc degree in an arts and science college, we normally think of majors like the physics, chemistry, mathematics, botany, zoology, things like that. No, now those days are gone. India for the past 20 years have been offering modern trending courses like the electronic media, horticulture, forestry, hotel management, hospitality, maritime, mass communication, etc. So these are all very highly demanded by the market, by the employers. Then a student can do a law degree, or he can enroll for the chartered accountancy after registering for the CPT. So the number of available courses is enormous, and they fall into 9 of these categories, one of these 9 of these categories. So let them carefully think over what will be suiting them, what will be suiting them ambition, then the family constraints and their career opportunities. Then let them join those courses.
Wow. So, though you say there are 9 categories, but yeah, you gave a real elaborate picture. So, how do you think these students, from where do you think they can find this information from, Professor?
See,
Because I know it requires a lot of research.
and now, as a national policy, we have most of the national portals are giving these informations. Precisely the admission procedure, right from how to do the application. They even help you to fill up the application, the deadlines, and the procedure of enrollment, when the results will be out. All those things are very clearly available. So now those things can be accessed even by a mobile phone. We don't require even Android or smartphones. Even otherwise, by any phone, it can most of them can be accessed.
Wow. Okay. And when we're talking about the various courses, so one thing that comes to my mind is the engineering course because I think it's the most sought after because every other person, in our neighborhood, they are engineers. So is the demand for engineering courses on wane, Professor?
Oh, this is really a good question. See, India now have more than 50 lakhs MSMEs. They require engineers. But the problem is that by the time we finish our engineering and come out, we should be employable. So there are about 3,300 engineering colleges in India, which is offering about 16 lakhs UG, that is BE, BTech degree seats, and about 2 lakh PG seats. So of which now we have about 130 of them have been closed because of lesser demand, as you say. That might be taken as if the engineering is on the van. But the industry needs engineers who are knowledgeable. The industry needs engineers who can work well in a team and also work well in a focused way when they are working alone. So what the industrial employers expect is that these graduates to have good competency in that subject, and also they should be able to speak well and work well in the industry with a sincerity. As long as these two are done, even now we have a good demand for such competent and well articulating engineers.
Wow. Okay. And you also like I would like to go to the point about the different courses available, because when you mentioned a broad range, so when should one start preparing, Professor? When is it the right time to start?
As far as the um, professional courses for which we have about some 33 national competence examinations like NEET, IIT, JEE are concerned, the prudent time may be from ninth standard onwards, because only then they will be having some vocabulary, they will have some knowledge to understand a textbook, what is written in a textbook. So there is no point in putting them in a rigorous IIT training course from fourth standard onwards or fifth standard onwards. The student should be mentally be prepared to know what is IIT, what is required in that. So whether it's NEET or IIT or any entrance examination, we have about some 33 national entrance examinations held as of today, including the National Defense Academy, where we recruit very large number of sure candidates every year. But for all these things, start the preparation from ninth standard onwards. That is one thing. Then second thing, when the students are preparing for this, please ensure that the health of the student is good. They don't fall sick, take basic precautions. They have the right mix of time to spend their time and relax themselves by playing with their friends in the street or somewhere for about half an hour or 1 hour, something like that. So as a result, now we will be having a situation where they are physically fit and at the same time they will be ready to put very hard work. And for other national examinations, this is applicable to all of them. So the main mantra is that they should prepare well, taking care of their health too.
Fantastic. Sure, Professor. And now, when we say you have a lot of courses available, not all students will have, the money power to join the reputed institutions. So that being the case, so how about getting scholarships or financial aid, Professor? So can you add more light to that topic?
Yes. See, as far as the India is concerned, we have the rural India people who are in the lower state of economy, and we have students who are having ambitions to contribute to the country coming from the rural India as well. This is the picture on one side. On the other side, the cost of education is going up. So, for example, the PRS India has given in a statement that out of the people who have passed the 10th standard, about 25% of them are dropping out before they come over to the 11th standard because they
Wow.
are not affording, they are not able to afford to the educational costs at the higher secondary level. So as a result, a lot of thinking has been going on, and really there is a good mechanism is available in the country, and we have crores of rupees worth of scholarships are available today, both for meritorious and underprivileged categories. These things include merit-based scholarships, means-based scholarships, merit cum means-based scholarships, and women emancipation-based scholarships, course-based quotas, and we have educational loans also available for people who are not able to fit into any one of these above financial things. In addition to that, we have the first generation scholarships available, and we have the social upliftment scholarships are also available. But we should remember most of these scholarships are available if and only if the students join a NAC accredited educational institution for higher education. So if they join any institution which is not accredited by NAC, then these scholarships are not available to them. It's not open to them. So they should exercise the caution. Instead of falling into the trap of being lured by the private institutions, we should make a check whether these institutions are nationally accredited by the National Accreditation and Assessment Council. That's one thing. Then, as a statistics, you may remember that last year we have dispersed, the India has dispersed 2.5 lakhs students the educational loans worth of 22,500 crores, with individual loan ranges from 2 lakhs to 9 lakhs. So the money is not a constraint, but only your will to do well is the only criteria needed as far as the higher education is concerned.
Fantastic. So there is a lot of opportunity out there.
Yeah.
That's a lot. 22,500 crores. Wow. So now, Professor, you did actually, give us a light about the various types of scholarships, like, sports-based quota and a lot of them. So how can a student find more about this? Where will this information be available?
Oh, that's good. And most of these scholarships, like the merit-based, means-based, merit-cum means-based, human emancipation, social upliftment scholarships, all these things are issued by circulars to the respective educational institutions at the beginning of every academic year. It is mandatory for all the educational institutions to put them on the notice board. And they normally give about a month or two time to apply for these scholarships. The criterions are very well laid over, so absolutely no problem at all. One should be looking at the notice board, or if they are not able to do that, or if they are having a doubt, please approach the college office. They will be in a position to do that. So absolutely, it is made mandatory in India that all these circulars must be put in the notice board of every institution. And all these 3,300 engineering colleges are putting it in the notice board, in addition to all the arts and science colleges. So absolutely no worry at all.
So irrespective of whether it is engineering or arts and science,
Yes,
students can
yes.
avail these scholarships.
Even in medical colleges.
Okay. Wow. So having said that, Professor, so are these scholarships available only for UG students, or can PG students also avail this
Oh,
scholarships and financial
um,
aids?
the criterion is like this. When a student progresses from UG to PG to research, the cost goes up. So also the quantum of financial assistance. So as you go to PG and higher research, this financial assistance will be phenomenally be increased. For example, if a person is doing that PhD, joint PhD, then after passing the national eligibility test, then they will be given first year 15,000 rupees every month, and then from second year onwards, they'll be given 25,000 rupees every month until they finish the course. That means it's a huge amount. And it's absolutely free. There is no need to repay them at all. So like that, from UG to PG to research, gradually the magnitude and quantum of the financial assistance keeps on increasing.
So another question. So apart from, you did mention for engineering and medical, we have this scholarship. So is this available for media and advertisement courses as well, Professor?
Yes, yes, yes. It doesn't distinguish the name of the course or nature of the course and where the student studies, whether he studies in a national premier institution like IIT, or in a state-funded university, or in a deemed university, or in an affiliated college. No, it doesn't make any distinction. The only thing is they should fall into the criterion and the norms given by the corresponding category of scholarship and the financial assistance. And also, most of the state governments fix their targets also on the institutions, saying that you must identify so many students at least for this category of scholarships.
Oh, okay. Wow. That is interesting information. And Professor, I was a little curious, so I'll go, like two questions before. So you were mentioning about ninth standard would be the right time for students to start preparing for their, say, entrance examinations, IIT, JEE courses. And you also mentioned at times parents push the students right from their fourth standard. So what will be your thoughts, because things are happening currently right from third standard and fourth standard, whether students understand or not, they're being pushed towards a career path. So what will be your comments on that?
This is a very sensitive and a very good question you have asked. See, what we academicians, the neurologists, and the experts from places like the Harvard or Oxford or Stanford universities and the top premier institutions like the AIMS and other places in India, what we feel is that as far as the child starts going to the school, first we should inculcate in it the habit of going to the school. So make it easy for it to make it should feel better to go to the school rather than remaining at home. So make it feel comfortable to go to the school should be the aim. That's the first thing. Then in the first initial stages, we should be talking to them, talking to them and also teaching them in the local language so that it can understand with ease. That's why in the new educational policy now, we have made it, the government has made it compulsory that up to the fifth standard, they should make it in the local language. Then introduce the language skills by the time they are around 7 or 8 years old, like that, because that's a time when the cognitive skills of the brain is to be developed, and those children who have been exposed to 2 or 3 languages are found to be successful statistically during the last 150 years throughout the world. That's neurologically true also. So that's why multi-language skills are at least one more language other than
Extra
the mother
language.
tongue the student should be made to be comfortable with. And when they do this, their language is taken care of. Now we can go for a thrust in the subject. So by the time they come to the ninth standard, plunge them into the subject. So now they have the knowledge to understand the concepts. They know how to read a book instead of just by guarding the notes given by the teacher. So whatever they learn by their own, on their own, contributes to their knowledge. If they keep on accumulating this knowledge, it gives them the wisdom. If they give them the wisdom, then they understand the real world. That's the success of the whole family, whole student, and the whole country.
Absolutely. Beautifully put, Professor. So you also pointed out that, let students learn by their own. So, adding another question to this statement. So when compared to the earlier times, we didn't have like Google or the internet. So I think for the past two decades or 1 decade, it's been really predominantly used. So how would you see that, Professor? Is it kind of an advantage for the students to be exposed to so much of internet and information, or will that be a boon or a bane?
Um, from my experience as a teacher, what I feel is all the subjects in the world and the curriculum in our arena of understanding of human being, all the subjects can fall into 2 categories. One is the sequential subjects. Because the subjects like physics, chemistry, mathematics, these things are all can come only sequentially. Only after knowing the tables, they know a 2 digit addition, then a 3 digit addition, then a multiplication, things like that. Only sequentially can be learned. So the subjects like mathematics, physics, chemistry, and science subjects are called as the sequential subjects. But at the same time, the subjects like the arts, literature, these things are non-sequential subjects. So the non-sequential subjects, anything can be picked up anytime and then can be read. But as far as the sequential subject is concerned, like a pyramid only you have to go up. So as a result, we have to make a conscious decision which category we are going to choose for our career. And accordingly, we should decide a strategy to prepare upon them.
Fantastic. And also, there is this, feeling. I'm not sure how it is in other countries, but mainly in India, we feel, yes, if their kids become a doctor or an engineer, a parent feels proud about it. But if they say they want to become a humanitarian or an artist, or if they want to go become a musician, it can be any other genre, and parents are little not too comfortable. So, what will be your message for the other streams of education, Professor? How
See,
much will you encourage it?
as far as the world is concerned, it wants for employment only knowledgeable human beings who can work alone well, also work in a team well. So it doesn't matter whether you are a doctor or an engineer or a air travel specialist or a renal dialysis specialist, whatever be it, doesn't matter. Even historians are needed, and we have a lot of opportunities, especially in the West, for historians and people who are good at history are well in demand, which we never imagined in India. In India, we are saying it as a contemporary course, but it is a well demanded course in the US, Canada, and other Western countries. So, any subject, let them read well, understand the subject, come out with the knowledge, and at the same time, let them develop a skill to communicate well to others. So, and they should work sincerely, whether it's a teamwork or whether it is a work alone situation, they should be sincerely work. If these cultures are developed, then employment is not a problem and will never be a problem.
Fantastic. So, Professor, having said that, what will be your comment on the overall quality of higher education in India?
um, when we got independence, we had an immediate problem. That is when the British people have left the country, we had a necessity to fill up the clerical posts in all Dasildar offices, collector offices, and other things. We needed large number of graduates. So, in the first initial phase, we have started producing, instead of a 4-year conventional degree program, we made it as a 3-year BA BSc program, started producing, quickly churning out more and more graduates. Then that was the phase one of Indian educational system till about 1971. Then we wanted more scientists, more engineers for our own consumption who are having quality. So India concentrated from 1971 to 1985 on concentrating, creating the base for engineering, doctors, lawyers, auditors, professionals like that. Then from 95 onwards, the picture changed. We wanted to produce engineers, but world class. We wanted to produce scientists, but world class. We wanted to produce doctors, world class. That's why after 1995, most of the Indians have gone to job. They have been hired by companies in the West. That's why there is an exodus of, which we used to say as brain drain. They have gone over there to US or Canada or Australia and other places. So this is because our educational standard has come up. But still, there are many pockets of holes in this. Only to alleviate them and mitigate them, now we have the new educational policy 2020. A few days back, our central government has given the cabinet approval for that.
Wow. Okay. That is a fantastic point to note. And can you, share more thoughts about the ranking systems of educational institutions, Professor? So once we finish with that, we will open the floor to, question and interactive question answer session with the audience.
Yes. See, in the United Nations now we have about 194 countries roughly. And they have given what is known as the sustainable development goals for these countries, for all the member countries to come up. So when the United Nations have issued out the guidelines for sustainable development goals called as SDGs, one American company called as the Time Ranking Company, they have started ranking as per this SDG of the United Nations all the universities in the world. The only thing is the university should volunteer itself to be assessed by the Times ranking. So if the university volunteers itself, then they will assess them based on some 13 well accepted and well debated non-subjective objective parameters, and they will be ranking the universities. So they did this with there is a British company called as the Quackfully Simons Company, that's called as the QS. So from 2004 to 2009, the T along with the QS has been releasing the ranking list. Then from 2010 to 2013, they have collaborated with the Thomson Reuters, and then we called it as the Times and the Thomson Reuters ranking system. And now from 2014 onwards, the Times ranking has entered into a collaboration with the Elsevier, and they are doing it. Now, when they do it like that, now what we find is that in India we have about 865 universities. Of these 865 universities, only 23 of them are in the rank between 501 and 1000 on the global ranking. And only 6 of them are between 251 to 500 rank. Unfortunately, there is no Indian university within the rank of first 250. Probably when this new educational policy comes into the picture, it's a matter of time that our universities might find a way into the top ranking, because most of the new educational policy aspects have been drafted out of following the SDG of the United Nations, that is the Sustainable Development Goals of the United Nations. We have liberally taken our inspirations from that, and we have prepared our NGP 2020. So I hope India is now on the right path towards a better ranking and a better place in the world university rank.
Fantastic. So, Professor, yes, we're open to audience for questions. And I have a first question here. Not all students are bright and can be one. So, what will be the scope for students who don't fare very well in exams? Is one of the questions, Professor.
Oh, that's good. See, as far as the marks that a student gets in the 12th standard is concerned, he has only one limited objective of getting an admission for a college degree course. It doesn't have any further consequence at all. So let the student join any course and join the course, let them read it well, develop their language skills during the duration of the degree program. When they come out with the competence in the subject and also with the articulation skill, they will be getting a job irrespective of their 12th standard mark. So if they get a low mark in the 12th standard, they need not be worried. It has a limited purpose of getting an admission to a college course only. It all depends upon how they do the college course and what communication skill they develop in the college course. That will be deciding their career, not the 12th standard. So they need not be worried. The parents also need not scold their children.
Okay, that is, I think that is the most important thing. Parents need not scold children. Thank you so much for that message, Professor. I have another question here. It is, what are the different streams or medium through which one can educate oneself? Is the question, Professor.
Oh, and as far as a very vast country like India is concerned, um, many of the states are offering flexibility in the medium of instruction, flexibility in the medium in which the student can write their examination, the flexibility in the medium in which they can take the internship, the flexibility in the medium in which they are encountering the viva examinations. And also, if they succeed well and get the degree program, there are flexibilities of making a choice of a different stream while they pursue their PG degrees. So one has to do well. That's the thing. It is independent of the medium that they do. They have the knowledge and the ability to communicate well. Their communication skill is good. I think job opportunities are really good, not only within the country, but also globally.
Beautiful. And And I have a question about online education, Professor. So they're asking how valid or how do you consider online education?
Yes.
Like,
Um,
not sure what they mean by how do you consider online education, but what would be your thoughts, Professor?
for sequential subjects like the mathematics, physics, chemistry, and science subjects, online education will have a limited impact because we can't ensure whether the students pick up the threads, whether the students pick up the threads correctly, whether they pick up the right threads. These are to be ensured, only then the sequential program can go well. So for sequential subjects like the mathematics, physics, chemistry, and science subjects, the scope, unless the student is very attentive, unless all the environment is very good, unless there is no disruption in the internet connectivity, if everything is ideal only, then the chances of the success is high and good as far as the sequential subjects are concerned. As far as the non-sequential subjects are concerned, like the literature, history, economics, and other things, even if they miss 1 or 2 points, they can make it up, and it is not sequential. So as a result, wherever in the world we have the different universities have been following up the online courses, wherever they have it for these non-sequential subjects, the success has been enormous. So this we can bear in our mind whenever we try to venture on the online systems.
Perfect. I hope that answers your question. Okay, I have another question here. It is quite interesting. So the question goes, is it a must to get a college degree to be successful? What if students don't want to study and work, if they want to start working right after plus two? Is there any scope for career growth?
As far as the human system is concerned, what all we provide is one person provides a service to another person, and return we get a remuneration or a compensation. So whether you are a doctor as a cardiologist provide service, or as an AC technician you do that, it all depends upon the service that you provide only. As long as you have the right competence, and there are opportunities for every field. For example, you have a scooter mechanic under a tree on the streets. Now, had the person has been having a having been trained formally in repairing the scooters, it will be advantageous to the scooter owners because he will not be further spoiling the scooter. So as a result, what is needed is the skill, knowledge, and the delivery. And in the delivery, one should be sincere and focused. As long as that is there, there is a need for every job. And I know many AC technicians in the US. They are drawing a remuneration of about $2 million, employing some 5 or 6 assistants to them. But they are very good at their job. So as a result, it is not necessary that one should be having a formal degree, but whatever you do, you should do it with a near perfection, with a good quality, you should render the service. As long as that quality is there, I think the world needs the service of anybody in any stream.
I would say that is rightly put, Professor, because here in Australia as well, we have so many people as plumbers, as locksmiths. We never knew there are so many niche areas, but they make a lot of money. That is true. So money should not be a criteria, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful. I have another question here. So it is, you being a senior academician, what will be your advice for students who are going to write their plus two next year?
Oh. See, I have a couple of advice to the students as well as to the parents. So, because as far as the students are concerned, when you are in a country where the marks that you get is crucial, so as a result, you should concentrate upon your studies. Probably you don't be lured away by your mobile phone or TV programs or cricket or things like that. Concentrate upon. If that 1 year, if you put your effort sincerely and putting hard work, the rest of the 45 years in your life, you'll be good off. And in this 1 year, if you are just enjoying, then the 45 years, you have to be settled down to mediocrity. Then, So concentrate upon your studies during this 11th and 12th standard. As far as the parents are concerned, please be monitoring closely your wards, your son or daughter. First, ensure they don't fall sick. Even don't allow them to drink water from outside. Give a water bottle to them. That's one thing. Second thing, even for a marriage or anything, don't be taking them. Maybe just taking them for a marriage or a function for just one day, for a birthday party. But that will be lingering in their thoughts for about another week. So their productivity is reduced. And then third, final important point is that please have a close watch about on the health of your son or daughter. If you find something abnormal, let it not be beyond 3 days. Take to a doctor and settle it out. So, because it is very well essential that they should remain fresh and they should not fall sick and they should not get distracted, so that your family's ambition of they getting a good score will be high.
Fantastic. Thanks for that tip, Professor. And now there is a question around exam fear. So, how do we handle exam fear? Like, there's someone who says, I always fall sick while writing the exam. How do I handle it?
So, this is really because of unplanned preparations. So, I know a student who has been preparing meticulously for the past 6 months before the examination. The student has revised every subject from 30 to 35 times. And when in the hall, when the student wrote the examination, the student told, it looks like as if he is copying from the book, because when he is looking the answer sheet, he is able to see the pages of the book from which he has studied them, and he just wrote, and he got the university first. And
Okay.
if a student has not started the preparation well in advance, if they have not put enough work, then they are running short of the preparation. They don't have the material. So psychologically, there is a setback, and they find that facing the examination is very difficult.
Very true. Very true. I remember having my exam fears as well. Thanks for that question. And one last question, Professor, I'll take from the audience. So they're asking, how important will internship opportunity be for students after plus two?
Yes, the internship opportunities are very important, I feel, as an educationist. When I was as long as in India, I thought getting a mark theoretically on the book, writing the answers, getting a more mark and getting a more course, I think that will be fantastic. But when I had the global experience, I find that finally our knowledge should be useful to the real world. Real world is not just representing your knowledge alone, but also how do you interact with the world? How do you interact with your employer, employee, customers, and other things? And even how to handle a machine, how to handle even a small thing. So as a result, internship training is as good and as much necessary as the subject knowledge itself. So it is very, very needed, and it is absolutely complementary to each other.
Fantastic. So students, please go for the internship opportunities.
Yes.
So, Professor, before we wind up this session, I would request for concluding remarks from you to the parents and for the students who've just passed the 12th standard and seeking for to go to a good college. So, what would be your
Yes.
concluding remarks?
So whatever be the marks that your ward has got, either in the national entrance examination or in the plus two, don't be scolding them. Take it on the face value. That's the first thing. Second thing, please discuss what courses your son or daughter can take. Discuss it with the elders in your family, the knowledgeable people in your village or in your surrounding, in your relatives who have been well studied and well employed, and discuss with these things. And please arrive at what course will be better for your son or daughter, given their ambition and also your family constraints. Please do your homework before start filling up or start throwing up an application to any institution. If you do this, I think the whole college education, higher education will be not only easy for your child, but also it will be rewarding for them in their career.
Fantastic. That was excellent, Professor. And just to sum up the conversation that we had for the past 45 minutes, so we saw about 10 million students pass out of plus two every year, and we have about 25 million seats available in India to accommodate the various ambitions of our students. And of course, it requires a good planning to get to a course of one's liking. And thousands of crores of scholarships and education loans are available for students. Educational loans are available if and only if you join a NAAC accredited institution. And very, you know, beautifully put, Professor. Employers are not only expecting graduates to have technical and discipline competencies from their degrees, but also want the graduates to demonstrate a range of broader skills and attributes that include team working, communication, leadership, critical thinking, problem solving, and managerial abilities. That was a very, very valid message, not only just for the plus two point of view, but also for their future point of view, Professor.
Yes,
I can't thank you enough.
and studying must be an exercise of pleasure. It should not be an exercise of pressure.
Beautiful. That's really well said. So I can't thank you enough for the extremely valuable inputs that you have shared with our viewers. I wish I watched this program when I was back in my 12th standard. Still not too late. Thanks a lot for being part of the show, despite your busy schedule, Professor. Thank you.
Thank you. I had a wonderful experience with you being on the other side of the Zoom meeting. So thank you. Fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And next week, same time, same window, we're going to hear from Sri K. Srinivasan. He is the convener of Education Loan Task Force ELTF. He's going to talk about how students can avail education loan. So having learned about, yes, there are scholarships, now next week you have the opportunity to know how to avail these scholarships. So until next week, I'm your Sukruti signing off from